Hey guys, good morning. This video is coming to you from Destin. I am here with my softball team for some games. If you don't know where Destin is, it's like on the west coast of Florida, kind of in the area of like Pensacola and Tallahassee, sorta. It's just on the west coast, so for me it's like 5 hours from the east coast, which is where I live. But it's great. It's super awesome. The beaches here are like super clear and a little bit of green, and it's like really pretty. The beaches where I live are like brown and just not that awesome, but it's okay. I love where I live. It's great. Anyway, so I am in Destin and I wanted to film this video for you, but I want to talk about New York. So I was in New York last week, and the Lord did some incredible things, and I went on this trip thinking, oh yeah, like I'm gonna see some of the sights, and you know, I'm gonna really just like be a tourist for a week and just like see all the things and take all the pictures. And then the Lord just started like doing stuff, and I love that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, God is there and God is present and God wants to do something in your life. So one of the first things that he did was we went to this like serve day thing, and we went to, it's called the Common Pantry, and basically what happens is people who for whatever reason don't have enough money or food to have whatever, then they will come here and they get like a certain amount of like food depending on how many people are in their family. So basically it's just like a food giveaway. And then there's different jobs. So most of the people on my team were upstairs like packing the bags for the people to take home. So you get like some protein and some rice and some like vegetables and fruit and sometimes some milk, and it's kind of just like all the basic food groups. But I was downstairs taking the orders from the people that were coming in. So that's like what I love to do, is just like talk to people and stuff. So I was talking to all of these New Yorkers and trying to ask them about their life, and the little survey where you ask them like what they want literally takes like 3 minutes. So I had like no time to talk to people. So I was trying to like stall and like, oh sorry, it's loading, let's just talk. And then I was just trying to like talk to them as much as I could, but I don't know if I was supposed to be doing that, but I got to know a few people and that was fun, and most of the people I talked to were from New York, so that was kind of cool. And they were all super surprised when they found out that I was from Florida and my group was from Florida. Needless to say, the weather was very different. Right now I consider this cold for Florida weather, so I'm wearing a flannel and some Converse, but in New York, what you consider cold, I'd be wearing like 3 jackets right now. So it's a little bit different, but anyway, there was this one point and it kind of got slow and there was nobody coming in and we didn't really have anything to do, so we kind of just sat around, and I was like, hey guys, like why don't we go talk to people, because there were still people in there like from New York, whether they, you know, were waiting to talk to like a counselor person or they were homeless waiting for a shower, like whatever it was. And I was like, let's just go talk to these people, because you know, while we're here, we might as well, right? So we kind of broke off, and I went over to this one girl and I was gonna talk to her, but then the guy next to her just started like talking to me, so I was like, okay, whatever. So I just put up a chair and we just got to talking, and you know, he told me about his high school and his life and his family and all this different stuff, and then I started to talk about me, and I kind of shared my testimony a little bit with him, and we were able to talk about church, and you know, he said he was a believer, and you know, he went to church, and then we were able to pray together, which was super awesome, and he was super touched by that. So I was just like blown away that the Lord would allow us to be able to do this type of ministry and to be able to pray for people while we're in New York, like on like a senior trip, not even like a mission trip, you know. So that was really cool. And then he didn't stop there. There's this another lady that was sitting in the front row, and we got to talking, and she was a believer also, and she was actually from Brazil. So she was talking about the differences between churches and the adjustment that she had to make and just stuff like that. And so we just got to talking, and then we prayed together, and she was just so encouraged that there were students and teenagers in there who were willing to serve and willing to pray with people, and it was just really awesome to see like how that touched her, and obviously like it touched me too. I was just so blown away that the Lord would like give me these opportunities. So then God did not stop there. There was another lady sitting in the back, and this one was kind of heavy. We got to talking to her, and she had told us that you know, she had been a cancer survivor, that she had had breast cancer. She no longer had breast cancer, but she now, I don't know what the name she called it, it's like a technical term for the disease or the side effect of the medicine that she was on or whatever that makes you lose your hair. So she had no hair, and she said that the certain medication that she was on, like should not have done that. So she was in there trying to like figure out like what she could do and if she could get any recompensation or like whatever it was with the medical company. And so she was just like in this like whole world of like anxiety and stuff. And then she also told us that like her mom is very ill, her dad is very ill, her family like financially is kind of struggling. She told us all of these things, and I mean she kind of just laid it out there, and it was just really heavy. And I was with one other girl, and we were both like almost in tears, and we're like, okay, like, can we pray for you? And she was getting up to go, and she had to like go meet with this counselor lady, and I was like, well, we have to pray for her. Like, we can't let her leave without praying for her. So she sat down, she said, yes, please pray for me. So we were able to lay hands on her and pray for healing and pray that her hair would grow back, and that financially the Lord would just bless her, that he would show her his goodness in all areas of life, that he would heal her mother and her father and everybody in her family. I mean, she was just so touched, and the Lord just did so much, and I love talking about it. So that was like super incredible. And then after that, there's actually some of the staff members at this place that we're at, and the whole time I'm kind of thinking, I don't think this is like a Christian place, so I don't know if we're supposed to be like praying for people. But we did it anyway, and I said, you know, if I get in trouble for praying, then like that's the greatest thing I want to get in trouble for. So obviously I didn't get in trouble, but by the end of it, the staff had asked me to pray for one of their girls that was on staff. So that was super cool, and I just walked away from that like super excited and just super like just feeling so blessed that the Lord would like let me be a part of that. And I don't say this just to like toot my own horn, oh, Kerrigan like prayed for somebody. No, like that's not it. Like I just think it's so amazing that you can like just do that anywhere. So like wherever you are, like be looking for that. Like pray like, God, give me an opportunity, and I promise you he will. And you'll see it, and you can go after it, and I mean it'll be incredible, and it will bless you as much, if not more, as the people that you are praying for. So God was in New York, and it was super cool to see that. I mean, it was awesome seeing all the, you know, Empire State Building and Times Square and all those different kinds of things. But I mean, when we got to pray for those people, that immediately goes like top of the list. So that was super incredible. And then something else that the Lord just did personally in my life was, you know, I've kind of been just thinking about like just like college in the next 4 years, and you know, we just all think about things like, oh, maybe a career choice, or like what I should major in, or like even what college to go to, all these different things, right? There's just lots of things that me being a senior and other seniors, or even people in, you know, different job change, or adults with kids and moving to different states, or whatever it is, like there's always these different things that require like decisions and planning, and I have been talking about it with one of the leaders, and we were talking about how, like, you know, our plans can be many, but you know, God's plan is the one that like comes out. I don't remember that verse technically what it says, but then so we were just talking about this kind of thing, and that's kind of what we have been chatting about. And then the pastor that was with us with our school, he's our campus pastor, he stood up to do a devotion at breakfast, and he preached on the exact same thing, like the exact same verse. Like, it was so cool, like how the Lord did that, and he just like, it was like not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. So it was definitely super like cool, and I was like, oh gosh, like God, you are like so cool to do that. So I definitely felt like the Lord was speaking to me there. And then something else too that really like I think was incredible, not just for me but for a lot of people, is, and one of the devos, one of the mornings, our tour director, she's actually from California, but she was with us in New York, and she said, you know, what are your passions? Like, what are you passionate about? And I think that was a tough question for a lot of people, because we kind of sit there and we're like, I don't know what my passions are. You know, I don't know what I'm good at. And then it kind of makes you think, and you're kind of like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, what am I passionate about, you know? And for some people, they're like, oh, I got it, I'm going to be a doctor, you know? Other people are like, oh yeah, going into ministry, like whatever it is. And, you know, that's great. But I just thought that was really cool how she kind of like challenged us with that. And that definitely did challenge me. Because there, you know, can be a lot of things that like I like to do, but if there's like one thing I'm passionate about, you know, what does that look like in a job, or what does that look like in the real world, you know? So it was just really cool that the Lord challenged us and kind of just spoke into our calling as a class, and kind of just was there with us like the whole time. So God is good. I just wanted to encourage you with those stories, and sorry for not posting in a while. I was in New York, and then I had to travel to Destin with my softball team, so it's been kind of crazy, so forgive me. But I love you guys, and I'll be working on getting you another video soon. Have a great Wednesday.